This maximum security prison ran for decades, processing thousands of inmates and holding some of New York's most dangerous offenders. Behind the structure and stats was a darker story. Over time, the prison built a reputation for violence. Lawsuits, abuse allegations, and reports of excessive force during intake began to stack up. Solitary confinement wasn't rare here, it was routine. Then, in 2022, the prison shut down. No farewell tour, no real answers, just locked gates and a long list of unresolved questions. Most of the prison's been gutted and left to rot, but certain sections, like the medical wing, still hold scattered traces of what used to be. In this episode, I'm exploring one of the most controversial correctional facilities in New York and seeing firsthand what was left behind after it was abandoned. Let's explore. Alright guys, we're gonna jump in and start exploring this abandoned prison. We're starting in the kitchen area, and I'm actually gonna be honest with you. I've been to this prison before. This is my second time here. I came here about 5 months ago, and I only stayed for about an hour just to check it out. I didn't have a lot of time, so I finally made it back. And we are gonna go check out everything inside of here. I'm super excited to see what we're gonna find, because I know there's a lot here, a lot I did not see the first time around. So we're gonna go find Ian, who's hiding in a room over here, and we're gonna go get started. All right, guys, now that we found Ian, hello Ian.
Hello.
We're gonna go start exploring. So let's exit the dining rooms and go see what we can see. I just wanted to look in here really quick. I think this was kitchen of some sorts, at least. Dish room. You know, there's something always really exciting about dish rooms, and that's nothing. Because there's nothing in here. So this building was mostly administration, it seems, with the cafeterias. Wondering if the medical block is going to be in here. Yeah, just a giant freezer. And there's a lot of them too. There's like a half dozen of these freezers.
There's a lot.
Right, well you can't really see it on camera yet, but this looks more like a traditional cell block potentially. Let's see. Here's the control room. Wow. Look how high up that ceiling is.
Barbershop in the gym.
That sounds like an amazing time to me. One inmate at a time. Huh. Small gym. What'd you find?
I guess it's just all the New York teams.
It's extremely dark in here still, so I'm gonna alternate between the night mode and regular for the time being. Hopefully it brightens up in here to the point where we don't need it at all. Alright guys, we made our way out into the courtyard, and it's absolutely beautiful out here. Ian's up there checking it out. But you have this massive gate over here, and there's just barbed and razor wire everywhere. I want to walk over here to see what we're looking at. Must be B block in here. And there's the entrance to A block. And then this goes back into where we just were. I'm not sure what block we were just in. Alright, so as I was shooting this courtyard, Ian came back and told me that it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get through into any of these blocks from here. They're all locked up, unfortunately. Obviously, there's a few places where we can get in, like this door is busted wide open, but that's where we just came from. Alright, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we can just walk in this cell block. Is there anything in there? Yes? H is good? Yes. Cells are what we want. I love prison cells.
Me too.
Thank you.
Of course.
So classy. Alright guys, we're inside of H block, and the first thing that happened is I stepped on this old but pretty gooey and somewhat fresh looking toothpaste. So that's a great start. We learned pretty quick that most of these cells actually don't open at all. In fact, there's only 2 up there that open in this whole building. There's cells on every side of the building, all 4 corners, but none of those open. So we're gonna go check out the control room here first, because there is a control panel in here, and the first 2 control rooms that I passed by did not have one. So this is kind of cool.
There, by the way.
Oh my. How far down does that go? Well,
Too far.
yeah, I just don't want to end up down there. This is pretty cool. Controls to all the cells. Here's another look at a few of the cells. Again, we can't get in any of these, so they actually did a pretty good job of locking them up. Alright guys, let's check out these 2 cells really quick that we can get into. These doors are really heavy. Make sure it doesn't close on us. And there's nothing special about these for the most part. They're really generic prison cells. I was honestly hoping for a little bit more design, but maybe in a prison this is what should be expected, honestly. Alright, we just checked out H8, so let's jump into H11 really quick. Again, another really heavy door. Make sure it doesn't shut, that would be really bad. And again, just about the same layout. Toilet, sink, mirror, and then your bed. Imagine sleeping on this. All right, well, we're still inside of the main gate, which is good. Okay, so we didn't come up here even though it all looks identical. This was A on the other side. This is literally a maze. All right, we're back in the administration building that we entered from. And it looks like Ian found, thank you, some stairs. But we can't go any further because no inmates are allowed. This is our first time going up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Classroom. There is a chalkboard in here. It's been tagged up, but this confirms the school building aspect. These are all back offices, the back rooms of the prison. So again, not expecting much here, but I'm really looking forward to finding that medical wing. All right, so these are the sick rooms. There's not a lot left in here, literally at all. It's pretty empty, besides the writing on the wall and a table every once in a while. We haven't even found a chair yet, so no chair of the episode so far. And most of these are pretty identical hallways. That's the gym down there, so back in the central unit. All right, guys, we're gonna step onto the roof and take a look around. It's absolutely beautiful out. The weather is perfect, and we can see so much up here. I wanted to walk over and show you guys this building really quick because I just love the way this cell block looks from the outside. I'm assuming that the medical stuff will probably be in that main administration building, but there's really no way to tell. It could just be hidden away in one of these eerie looking buildings. Guys, this has been a prison that I've been trying to come back to hit for months. Like, I've been trying to come back here every weekend pretty much, and it just hasn't happened. But we're back now, and it definitely doesn't disappoint. I would say the only disappointing factor has been the fact that the cells have not opened up for the most part. That's the only thing that's been a little disappointing. But other than that, I mean, it's completely delivering. I'm just hoping that we find the medical section. We have to find the medical section because that's the cleanest, most coolest part of this prison that I've seen. So we're going to keep exploring. We're going to get off the roof in a second, and we're going to go see what we can find. So let's explore. Alright guys, we are back on the main level of this roof, and we're going to play a little game that we call
Prison whack.
So we're going to find a nice little rock here for Ian to whack. This one looks nice and big. So are you ready to play some prison whack? Ready? We're going all the way out there with this.
Too close, too close.
Take two. Alright guys, so we are officially done with that first wing and the main administration building for the most part. We're going to circle back around when we're leaving and go check out one or two final parts that we didn't get to see of that. But we're going to go move on to the next block and hope that there's some different stuff / the medical wing / maybe some open cells for us to check out. So let's keep exploring. Alright, this block looks cool. Wide open too. Alright, so after a 3-second look around outside, it's the same exact layout as the first block, so let's hope that there's something different in here to check out. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's go start exploring this cell block and see if it's any different from the first one. Dorms that way and guidance over there. Can we go in this direction? Or is this locked? Nope. So the one positive about this building being identical to the one that we just explored is that we get to see some of the parts that we didn't really get to see when we first walked in because it was too dark. So I think we get a better look at the gym here and some of these birds that are unfortunately trapped in here. Most likely they won't make it. But we can see this a little bit better here. And again, it's completely identical, so there's not that much to point out. But it's clean, so that's a bonus. Anything in there? Cells?
Didn't look like any were open.
No?
That's the
Alright guys, so we stepped into the second cell block here. This is block G. And let's go see if any of these cells open. We didn't try any of them yet, so there's a chance, but it looks like they're all closed and locked off, but you can look in there and see the toilet and the little cot, but it's nothing special. Probably similar story with all of these. It's a shame. Dang, they're all locked up. Alright, well unfortunately we can't get in any of those cells, but we can check out the control room here. This is unlocked at least. Group, unlock, lock. Alright, so this is the front of the prison, and we're in the middle of it now. I'm trying to traverse over to go to the cell block buildings we haven't been in yet, and then find the rest of the stuff. But it looks like the cell blocks are all going to be mirrored layouts of each other, down to the brick pretty much. So there's not much of a point in going in every single one. I wish there was a few more open cells, but maybe this block will have something in it that we can get into. Still cool though, like really cool.
There's a lot of places we could have gone.
This would be fun to climb across if there was a little pathway.
If it wasn't raining too. I want to do that. He's kind of cute.
Alright guys, we're gonna go ahead into the main gym here. This space is much more expansive than the other gymnasiums we've seen so far. It even has a scoreboard. No hoops, but I wasn't expecting any. But this is more than twice the size of the other one, so at least we get to see this. It's a good start to this building. And right next to the gym is the inmates' weight room. There's nothing special about this, it's completely empty, but you can just imagine dozens and dozens of inmates being thrown in here, and the smells and the sounds. It was never quiet in here. Grievance. This was the grievance room. Legal phone. Nothing in the sergeant's office. It looks like we have a whole bunch of classrooms. This doesn't really look like the educational hub though. That was the last building. So I'm a little confused. Let's see if it's the same story in here. Yep. Look at this. This is really cool. Alright, so we just ascended into this really big wide open room. Some of these doors say classroom on them. Let's go see if there's anything inside of them. Nope. Completely empty. All right, guys, we basically cleared all the cell block buildings, and we're gonna go back to the administration building, which should house the chapel and the medical offices. I actually used the power of Google to look it up and figured out that all the medical and dental stuff should be in there. So we're gonna go get out of this building, go find that stuff, and then probably get out of here. We've pretty much seen everything to see here. The only disappointing thing has been most of the cells not opening, but at least one or two of them open, because if we didn't get into a single cell, I wouldn't be a very happy camper about that. So let's get out of here. Let's explore. I love how they conveniently leave the gates open for us.
Yeah, right?
Super nice of them. Open sesame.
They're all locked.
They're all locked? Oh, man. Alright guys, so we just cleared the intersection of this building, which is again a mirrored layout of the other cell blocks, and there's no way to get into these buildings. The cell blocks, I should say, from where we're at. So we're kind of stuck here. We might not be able to get in to this one, which is okay. Like, we've seen a couple of cells and we know that these are going to be exactly the same, but still I think it's time to go move on to the main building. Look how rusted that gate is to the right. That's crazy. Alright, back where it all started. Let's go find these medical offices. Huh. Was this intake? What the? Utility or a main control room, probably. Obviously, there's nowhere we can go from here. This must have been intake or something. Alright, yeah, so all this is pretty familiar. So let's go this way. Back where we started this morning. Ooh. Ooh. Look at this. Pen 5. This was the lineup. They would have had all the inmates lined up here, and one person did the real crime, and the rest would just be there for the picture. This is so awesome. I didn't come on this side during my first visit, or this morning when I came in. But look at all these cells. Wow. Anything in here or just a dead end? Phone booth?
You can go that way. No, this is the property room. So that's where like, they would get their stuff back.
The property
or
room.
like where they change them and get them into the outfits.
Yeah. Do not open your bag. Wow. Check out this. Pen 2. Do you have a court order of protection, religion, medical, and other? Gotta inform the officer. Alright, so this was definitely one of the main control rooms / intake spaces. Check this out, guys. This was most likely the main intake for the inmates when they first came in. They probably would be brought right in here. They'd be driven right through there. They come in through here. Intake and phones are here and around the corner. And then they would just put them in the cells. Guys, check out these really old cameras that they have on the ceiling. I haven't seen these in any of the prisons that I've explored. And I've explored everything from really modern to really old prisons, so this is a pretty cool find.
Upstairs time, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the arrows are telling us to go up there, so we have to follow them. I think we found it. I think this is the area that we're gonna be looking for. Okay guys, in every single video, you know what we do. We pick a chair of the episode, and this prison is no different. We have our chair, except there's one difference. It's not nearly in one piece here. I'm just gonna come down and show you guys what we got going on here. This is a 3-piece chair. I don't really have much to say about it besides this is the only chair that we have seen in this entire place, like at all. Yeah. Like this is the only chair, which makes it special. So, chair of the episode. Whoa. Oh, look it. Someone opened up the door so we don't have to.
That's so nice of them.
All right, we're not really sure what's going on here. Just a bunch of offices. So I'm gonna guess we have to go down one of these little corridors right here. That. Now this looks inviting. All right, guys. So I finally found the medical section, and I took a walk through here already. There's not as much in here as I thought there would be, but we do have a full dental setup and chair in here, which is nice. No spit tray or anything, but we do have the light and the chair, and it's still pretty clean. It looks like there's been people that have been coming through here and, well, either damaging or scrapping this thing, but at least we found one chair. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is this room. And this would have been the x-ray room here. Here's the protective board. And then the machine would have been right here. But obviously they removed this, and I actually think this was probably within the last few months to a year. Obviously I didn't see any of this when I came through on my first run. But I've seen pictures of way more medical stuff here. But this is still really cool. I'm glad we found it. Building off of the x-ray room, I wanted to show you guys this one adjacent room, which I almost missed, and it's the x-ray office. They have the light boards in here that they would have put the x-rays up against, lit them up, and been able to see them much better and study them. But obviously, pretty decommissioned now. I'm actually surprised these are still here in general. Dude, genuinely? Alright guys, Ian didn't want to climb through the window, which is understandable. We're gonna check every room to see if they open or not. Dental? Alright, this is definitely where I need to be. Alright guys, so after a whole lot of difficulty, I finally made it to the part of this prison I was super excited for. This dental suite is so awesome. Wow. It is so clean. Look at the light. This is crazy. This looks like it just shut down yesterday. I'm so happy I decided to come through this door. That's clinic number 1. Storage room there. And I would assume right here on the left is going to be the second. Yep. Look at this. Everything is in incredible shape. Again, it looks like it just shut down. Definitely no regrets. Let's see if there's anything in any of these. Probably just staff offices. Yeah, empty. Empty. And let's go see what's down this hallway. Before we go head down that hallway, I want to show you guys this little waiting room for the hospital. I love the way this looks. It's very symmetrical. Alright guys, we're going to finally push into this hallway, and the first thing we're literally going to find is the triage room, or the emergency room. And if I peek around this corner, you'll see that there is an actual surgical light there. So they did operations here on inmates who needed it. What's this? Isolation room. And it opens. Let's hope we don't get locked in here. Doesn't look like we're getting in here. Power alarm. Huh. I think it's also important to point out that prisoners weren't just kept in these isolation rooms to be kept in here. They actually had diseases or other types of situations that did not allow them to be around the other inmates, i.e. this shower right here, which was probably used to decontaminate. And then there's all these stickers on the toilets and sinks, and I bet that's just saying cleared. Nope. Dang it. I really wanted to get in there because there's an actual hospital bed in there, and there hasn't been one of those throughout this entire place so far. Last but not least, ISO 3. I doubt this is going to be open too, but might as well just try it. Alright, I'm going to let that bump up against my foot so I don't get locked in here, since the other two didn't open at all. But this was an isolation cell. There's even less things you could potentially hurt yourself with in here. And honestly, there's a little bit more space than the original cells. And here's the decontamination shower as well. What is this? Well, I would go back there, but every office has been completely empty, so that's not going to be any different. Alright guys, the last piece to this puzzle is the chapel. So we are going to try our best to find it.
Oh wait, that's literally just the stairs.
So down then? I guess? This is, I guess, the last area to really check.
Oh, this looks...
Yeah, no, it says chapel right there. Alright guys, after long last, we finally found the chapel. And it is so worth it. Look at this mural and the stained glass up here. It's a little smaller than I thought. I thought there would actually be more stained glass. But I guess it makes sense. They just want to put it somewhere where the inmates couldn't potentially break it and use it as a weapon. But look at this mural.